Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I filmed a video about I recorded a video. Let's be honest, there's no filming going on. Film is from like the 1980s. But I recorded a video about a month ago, and then I had a WIP parade a couple weeks ago, so it's back to regular Flosstube. So I hope you're doing well. It's January 11th, and to me, January always seems like it has 600 days in it, but my son has a birthday at the end of the month, my oldest son, and he's going to be 30, which is weird because I'm just 39, so I don't know how that happened. And what else is going on? Our house build is coming along. The framers are done. Praise the Lord. It just went on for, like, whole neighborhoods went up in the time that our house was framed, but they did a good job. And the framing is done and it passed inspection. So now my husband is doing the wrap on the outside, and I'll probably help him with that today. And the roofers came. There was a window of dry days, which is unusual in January in Oregon. There was a window of dry days, and then like several days next week will be dry. So they came out and papered about 2/3 of the house yesterday. They were hoping to get the whole thing done, but there was too much roof for that. So hopefully they come back next week and finish it up, and then it won't be a waterfall inside. I think I showed you guys a video, or maybe I put it on Instagram, and there was worry about, rot and mold. And if you're building a house in Oregon, you just have a shorter window to build it. They build in the winter here, and it's going to get wet. So if there is any of that, we'll just address it when everything dries out. But it's not uncommon to buy lumber and have little black spots on it. It happens. And I went online and looked, and there are a lot of contractors are like, it's very common. So anyway, so many things are, it's the hurry up and wait, where you're just waiting, and then all of a sudden a bunch of stuff happens. So super excited. Makes January much better for me. Since the last time I shot a video, I had, I think, 27 WIPs, or 28 that I ended 2024. And I'm positioned to where I'm going to try and stitch on all of my WIPs at some point this year, which is kind of exciting because I felt almost like it's been a duty the last few years while I'm trying to reduce my WIPs, where I have like 10 or 11 that I'm focusing on for the year. And I do like to stitch big things primarily. So it takes a while to finish them. I can get about one a month done. And now I have some, I would call them more medium and large size pieces, a couple of extra large pieces. I still have some that I want to focus on, but I don't feel like I have to be diligent in getting one a month done, which is exciting because I just pick up whatever I want to work on. So the last time I was on here, I think I showed this one. Well, I did in the WIP parade. This is Fragments in Time. I love this thing. This is like a folio thing that Diane from the Woodpecker's Daughter made, and I have these Fragments in Time pieces left to stitch. There's the beehive, the lake scene, the chalet, and the fern. So those are the 4 that I have left. I finished 4, and I'm about halfway done. I started this for my birthday, December 3rd, and several of you have already worked on it, or you started it with me. And so this is as far as I am. I'm going to actually duck behind here and come over to this side so I can get a little closer. I didn't follow like a specific format for the where I put the pieces to stitch. I just kind of put them in the order that I liked. And isn't that swan gorgeous? Oh my gosh. And that stag, I love it. And those flowers, I just love this piece. Here are the threads that come with it. I'm sorry, that you can purchase to stitch with. Aren't those gorgeous? Now, there is one that I swapped out. It called for chili pepper, which is a kind of an orangey red, and I chose ruby slipper instead by Gentle Arts. So I worked on that one. What I love that's a little different this year than what I was doing last year is I did buy some 11 by 17 Q snaps. I bought a couple more. And so I have 3 now. So I always can have 3 projects ready to go. I don't have to swap them out on the Q snap, and that's fantastic. So that has made it a little more efficient, and then I think between videos I'll probably just work on those 3. I might even buy a couple more. I don't know. Maybe it would be even easier to swap between the projects. The next one I worked on, I'm not going to show you this one yet, or that one. The next one I worked on was a fan favorite, Rose Wreath Sampler by Gigi Art. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, come on. And I think Nikki Noodle is the first person I saw finish that. I think Narissa from Narissa Stitching Lifestyle may have also stitched it, and it has, oh, I'll tell you, General Arts is my favorite thread. Although I do like all the thread dyers. There's not one that I don't like. But there's just gorgeous colors in here. And she's big. She's an XXL project on my spreadsheet. It's going to take me a minute. It's like a bed sheet, getting it on here. This is stitched on Mudslide by Silk Weaver, and this is the one where the fabric was marked 46, but it's 40, and it's cut wonky, so I had a heart attack and thought it wasn't going to fit, but it does. All right, here's where we are. I went ahead and went up the side, and I'm starting across the top for the border, and that's what my focus is going to be for now. I'm just going to try and get that whole border done. It really went pretty quickly because they're uniform from each one. There's really no differences. They're the same stitch pattern. You can stitch it in Claret, which is the darker, or the other option is Rose Garden, and that's on the pattern. She says, you know, if you want a more vintage look, softer look, go for the Rose Garden. So I chose to use both, and I'm stitching the Claret on the inside and the Rose Garden on the outside. And look at those lovebirds. Oh, I just love this one. This one will be on my Q-snap until it's done on one of the 3 that I have. I think that one was, I'm not sure. I think that was already stitched, but I've just really worked on the border. I'm into pink these days. That happens in January, where I'm kind of done with the fall colors and I'm looking ahead to Valentine's Day. Or just spring in general. Spring is my favorite season around here. We have a lot of agriculture, a lot of rolling hills with orchards and blueberry farms and pumpkin patches. Also acres and acres and acres of grass seed farms. So it looks like a lawn that goes on forever. And then mountains to the east and mountains to the west. So it's a gorgeous place to live. And it really, in the spring, when all of the grass seed farms are coming up and the daffodils and the tulip, there's a big tulip farm up north of us in Woodburn. It's gorgeous here, even if it does rain. All right. So the next one I pulled out is a WIP that I started last year. And my friend Vanessa, Flame Figures on Instagram, she's so funny. We're the Co-Enablement Society. We just absolutely have the same tastes in stitching. This one's not available in the first, you can't buy it new, but you can buy it used. I showed this on my Instagram and somebody went out and found it and bought it. So they are available. This is Primitive Traditions, Plenty and Grace. And they are, I have the Belsois. So I didn't realize this Belsois doesn't have as many colors in the silks as there are in the Classic Colorworks. It's the same company, right? Classic Colorworks. They don't have as many silks as they have cottons. So I have several, I probably have the majority of the Belsois silks by default because I have them in projects. And so, but the colors have changed. And there was a time when I was stitching this and I started over here. And so when I picked it up, I had like these words done and a little bit of this done. That's as much as I worked on when I started it. So I finished the words. And it says, may joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, may happiness be with you now and bless you evermore. So this house was a different color. It was like a grayish color, kind of a grayy color. And the color separating is kind of an oatmeal color around the windows in the door frame. And I didn't like it. So I went through my stash. I don't think I have them over here. Oh, yes, I do. And handpicked just some silks that I had of different dyers. So here's a Gloriana that's kind of an interesting kind of greens and taupes and tans. I might use that one on one. This one, Bahama Breeze by Classic. This is a Belle Soie. It's a little more blue. It's kind of an ice blue. This one's a watercolor, water lilies, and it's called Sea Foam. This is the one I used. So on the picture, it does look like the houses on the bottom on either side are kind of either a light blue or a gray blue. And when I stitched this, I really liked it because there was a lot of variegation in it, and it looked a lot like the picture. I also like this color. It's Cool Mint. It's a Belle Soie. I like that one a lot. It might be a little more intense color than the picture, but I think I tried that and I wasn't sure. It's between that or the Gloriana for the house that's on the opposite side of the design. So I'm still working on choosing colors, but I love this. It's just like the perfect neighborhood. Now, this is when this was designed, she made it as a wedding sampler for her children, for two of her, well, her, I think, son and daughter-in-law. And she put their initials here and then the parents' initials here. So they come together. I'm not doing that. None of my kids are even close to being married. So I'm going to put our initials here and our the year we were married. And then I think I'm just going to put a couple flowers over the top of the houses where the initials are. So that is in the works. I tend to, when I'm changing things and I'm not sure and it takes a little extra work, I don't really focus on those pieces because, you know, it takes energy. And that sometimes when I'm off work, I just want to sit down and stitch and not have to decide anything. I just want to do what's on the pattern. Now, the last one was a start last night. Marianne Kopp, 1839. I have been collecting the pieces to this for a few months now. I thought I was gonna start it last fall and I didn't get around to it. And so I would buy some of the threads. Then I didn't know what they belonged to. Then I figured out what they belonged to, and then I collected all the threads. And then I bought some ballet slipper, Fox and Rabbit ballet slipper. And I thought that would really be pretty. This pattern would really be pretty on that fabric. I bought a couple pieces of it. One was a little more peach and one was a little more pink. I chose the one that was a little more pink. Just the colors I really liked on that piece in particular. Now, one thing about Brenda's designs is when I was at a farm girl retreat, I saw somebody stitching Winter Rose Manor. And you know, a lot of people have stitched it. And I was one of the people that said, I'm changing the snow from roasted marshmallow or toasted marshmallow to something else, grits or a whiter white. But I'll tell you, when I saw the colors of threads with the exact fabric that Brenda chose, it was magical. It was gorgeous. So I kept the thread colors the same, and I'm interested to see how this looks at the end, choosing not this particular fabric, which I'm sure it's stunning on this fabric. Okay, so here it is. Here are the colors. There is this bright pink color. Also, Clockwork is kind of a bright orangey color. Those are the bricks in the house. But I think it's going to be beautiful. And here is the start. And what I love is it fits on, this is a fat quarter. It fits on a fat eighth. And this is a 40 count. The fabric, even though it's a bit more pink, it's really a blush color. It's really a neutral with a tinge to it. you know, just a little, it's just got some color, but it's not like pink. It's really very blushy. Blush is the perfect description for ballet slippers. So just a little bit on there. The colors are going to be beautiful. I can't wait to get back to this. I'm probably going to go ahead and load that on my Q-Snap. So those are my WIPs. That's what I have been working on since the last video. All right. Let's talk a little bit about, so the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about giveaways. That'll be brief. I'm going to talk about some haul. But I pulled, okay, so one of the things when I was kitting up the Marianne Kopp, and I had the threads, and then I found the fabric, and then I couldn't match everything. Like it would be one of those things where it's floating around your house, and finally I had the threads and the fabric together, but then I couldn't find the pattern. So imagine that in this chaos that we have going on in our living situation. So last night and the day before, I pulled these buckets of patterns from the bottom and just went through that part of my stash. And I probably haven't done that for a couple of years. I found the pattern, so that's why I was able to start the piece, but I found a lot of patterns that very much inspire me right now. I'm not going to start them all, but I thought it would be fun to kind of just look through, do a little stash parade, because don't we love enabling each other? Y'all do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the giveaway. The last video in December, the last regular video, I mentioned that at the Jingle Ball, I met Crafty Bluebonnet designers, and they have 3 giveaways. So from their Etsy shop, 3 different people will choose one pattern. So the winners are Christy428 Texas. That's your handle name. The second winner is Judy Matsay, M-A-T-S-A-Y 6385. And the third one is Elizabeth Coleman 5437. So please, if you're one of those 3 people, email me below and I'll get you in touch with Crafty Bluebonnet so that you can claim your pattern, which is wonderful. I also will say I feel terrible because at the Jingle Ball, when we were doing the speed dating, that's how I met the ladies from Crafty Bluebonnet. There was another Flosstuber. I wrote everything down, said I was going to mention her at my video in December, and then I lost my piece of paper. I looked through the garbage. I don't know where it went. So if that was you, I'm so sorry. I really did intend to shout you out. I just don't know what I did with the piece of paper. So let me know if it was you. The other 2 patterns that are giveaways is Wandering Heart, and the winner of this piece, this pattern, is Pam Bump 6060, and the winner of A Love Song, this one here, is Becky Farian 6193. I really like that one. I wouldn't mind stitching that one. So next, let's see. I did say in my last video that I hadn't downloaded the patterns that I picked up from the, I can't think today, Jingle Ball. So the PDFs I had not printed well. I sat down one day and cleaned up my inbox. I printed everything. I used a lot of paper. That's okay. And I'm going to show you what I bought from the Jingle Ball. So the $10 you get for the Jingle Ball, you get with speed dating, you get pre-printed, pre-made content from designers, you get a chance to meet and greet with the designers, you get Jingle Ball exclusives that you can buy, and they have some of their older patterns too that are Christmas that you can buy as well. They're all reasonably priced patterns. There's nothing that's like $40. It's all pretty achievable and reasonably priced. So the first one is the Tiny Modernist, the Christmas Village set. I saw this and I was dying. I have wanted to work on and do projects that involve cartonnage, which is like box construction, and I can see implementing that here in these. my friend Teresa Kogut, and some of these I didn't print the whole pattern because it was just a lot of paper. So this one up on the housetop, I mean, come on. And that must be a Chantel's 141 board. I'm pretty sure it is, but that's adorable. And then also from Teresa Kogut, Holiday Stroll. I don't remember if this one was on her website last year or not. I don't recall. And also by Teresa, Blue Coat Santa. He's so cute. Love it. Then Stacy Nash, the only class that I took, and I actually didn't go watch the class, I probably could, but she's got finishing instructions on the pattern, is the Gingerbread House needle book. But I did also buy this one. It's a badge, Swan, what does it say? Swan's a swimming badge. So Trinkety, it's stitching in costume on Flosstube, and Trinkety on Catherine Adrian. Isn't that Catherine Adrian? I think so. She did this, but she glammed it up. It's gorgeous. There's sparkle and beads, and oh, very pretty. Then this one I was dying for. I think this is a general release now. Millie by Stacy Nash. It's so cute. And Pansy Patch Stitchery. This very much caught my eye. Merry Christmas sampler. How adorable is that? I was thinking about doing some sort of mania about Christmas. Christmas mania, I might do that. Also by Pansy Patch Stitchery. Look at that one. Winter Quilt Barn. You know, you can go look at their websites to see, I don't know if these are new this year. They might be available. If they're exclusives to the Jingle Ball, they'll come out usually the following year. So this is my friend Beth from Heartstring, Repeat the Sounding Joy. And also this one, Marshmallow World. I love that one. So adorable. These are, let's see. Okay, these are just Etsy shops, I believe, that I finally downloaded. This is not from the Jingle Ball. This is Living on the Rainbow, Peace on Earth, letter card cross stitch. So this has a front and a back to it. And this will be an adorable ornament on a Christmas tree. Also this one, Peace on Earth miniature stocking. Living on the Rainbow on Etsy. Naughty or Nice. This has one, I can't remember what it says on the back. Oh, I think it says North Pole on the back. Santa's List. Naughty or Nice. And then this one that goes with it. Naughty or Nice Knitting. Nice, naughty, or I tried. So cute. Crochet to Go-Go. Somebody showed this on Instagram, which made me immediately go out and buy it. Christmas basket. Also, Holly Jolly. Isn't that adorable? And Tiny Village. It kind of reminds me of a prairie schooler. So those are the PDFs that I bought. I don't really usually shop a lot on Etsy unless I'm looking for something specific. But I did have a bit of a splurge there. Now, this one is a Patreon chart from Teresa Kogut. I think it was in this last month's round of patterns, and I am going to probably start this in February. I just absolutely love that. Love it, love it. So Sherry from Colorado, Cross Stitcher, she has a newsletter. I do have a few people that I subscribe to for newsletters. She had some needle and flax fabric and a couple of colors I hadn't seen this one before. This is Walnut. kind of a very rich brown, modelly brown. And it's called Walnut Grove by Needle and Flex. Pretty. And then a second one, and this one was available as a fat half. There was no fat quarters, a fat half or a fat eighth, or maybe even a yard. This is Fragile. It's a very pretty sort of warm neutral. Kind of reminds me of Maritime White by Lakeside. I got the fat eighth on that. I showed a little bit of restraint. Now, I also recently, let's see, who is this? Needle Bling Designs. I think I bought this off of Etsy. So Teresa's Hello Santa book. This is, her books are, she has 5 or 6 designs in them usually, and they're gorgeous. And also, a couple people are stitching this. This is Home for Christmas Sampler by Chessie and me. I really like that one. There are some, I'm not going to show you the rest of the Kitten Stitcher Advent patterns. I think you all probably have seen them. They're all over the internet. I showed you what had opened up through my video in December. But if you want to see, just put Kitten Stitcher Advent into the Google search engine. You'll see which patterns were in the box. She's not going to do it this next year, so it is what it is. I've only ever done 2 boxes, and they were worth it. The Kitten Stitcher boxes were absolutely worth it. All right, so I also had I want to say this was Quilt. This is a quilt kit from, I don't remember the name of the store. I'll look it up. It is Liberty Garden Quilt Kit. Oh, Quilts and Fabrics, that's what it's called. It was a clearance, and it's a buttermilk basin, and it was half off. It's all applique, and I'm dying to do applique, but look at how much fabric is in this. It was a smoking deal. I think it was half off and then maybe another coupon. But it does put me in the mood to stitch on some patriotic, that's for sure. And the last thing, this is not stitching related, but I thought I would show you. I bought this from, did I show you this last time? I can't remember. Maple Hill, I'll put them down below here. They're an Instagram account, and they sell vintage items occasionally. But this I love is a piano accordion book. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I can't remember if I showed you this last time either. I bought a Currier and Ives print from her. And this does remind me of Little House on the Prairie. It says a home in the wilderness. And look at that. So charming. So charming. I absolutely can't wait to hang this in my new house during the holidays. And even it's a perfect January piece to hang up as well. All right. So one last item this is what I bought since the last video. I'm prone to go on to eBay, as I do, or other auction sites after dark while I'm laying in bed. And I bought this sampler. It's called Margaret McDowell, age 12, 1852. It's stitched with wool, and it's a pretty coarse fabric. There is, what I thought was interesting about this, and I made an offer and they took it, it wasn't super expensive. But there is some thread loss, and somebody in the past put fabric behind it to try to mitigate the thread loss and fabric loss. It's right in here. I think that's kind of comical, kind of charming, really. But the colors on this, now it is obviously seen better days in terms of, you see bleeding here, but the colors, and what I love is this border. It's like almost red, white, and blue. This actually, when I looked at it online, I'm like, this sort of looks like almost like a patriotic chart. You know, obviously it's not. I mean, look at that crown and scepter. That's gorgeous. And the bouquet of flowers, the rosebud, the other bouquets, that urn, the butterflies. This bouquet too. Oh, so pretty. It does have definitely a musty odor. I'm going to throw it in the freezer and kill anything that's eating on it. But I do love that and adding it to my collection. All right, how are we doing? 30 minutes, not too bad. Okay, so let's talk about stash. Stash parade. I need to see a Olivia B video where she sings Haul to us. Haul. This isn't Haul. This is stuff I already had. All right. When I looked at this and I was searching through, I was like, oh, I kind of just leafed through this. Simone's Smalls by Simone Dijon von Wissen. I think I want to stitch everything in this book. Everything. And wouldn't it be pretty just to have a tray or a little box? And these are arranged in such a way where you're like, you can see everything. And I just let in maybe the box is painted and distressed. It's gorgeous. I want to say I bought this through Country Sampler. This is the company, Sweet a Day. I don't know if I said that right. Anyway, so there's that one. It got my juices going. And this is another one. This is a loaned pattern from my friend Lori. I couldn't find it anywhere. It is Hawkins House. My friend Kim has a stitched in her house, and I went gaga over it when I saw it. So I put out an ISO request, and then my friend Lori goes, oh, I have that. You can borrow it. I'm like, sweet. So I better get on that this year. I'm also having a hankering for doing another Jane Austen pattern. And so Annie, Belle, and Chelsea from Annie B's Folk Art, they started a stitch along last year, and I have another pattern. I have several. The Stitching Parlor has some, and this one is even completely kitted. This is by Sampler Girl. On Travel with Jane Austen. Isn't that adorable? It says, for a fine Sunday in Bath empties every house of its inhabitants, and all the world appears on such occasion to walk. They hastened away to Crescent to breathe the fresh air of better company. Yep. So I was surprised at how many patterns that I have either partly kitted or half kitted. And there's a ton of thread. This one, my friend Lori, textilist, she found this one too. Weeping Tree Sampler. Yep, this is offset. I think in here you offset it on purpose. But I love this chart. I might change the colors a little bit and brighten it. It's a little prim. It's quite pretty though. Looks like it's mostly DMCs. You can do Anchor, JP Coats, or Madeira. I probably would change it to Overdyes. Here's a Stitching Parlor one that's also in the running. So Mr. Collins with fine boiled potatoes. This is a great chart. This one is available. So Acorns and Threads has all of the Jane Austen charts for the Stitching Parlor. If you're looking for this, give them a call or go on the website to see if it's listed on the website. I do, that house, it's like very moody and dark, but Mr. Collins, it says, welcome to my humble abode. I need 100 years to stitch everything. That's for sure. This one, oh, I've had this one for quite some time. Jeanette Douglas, Common Thread. How gorgeous is that? What I need to find, oh, this is Common Thread too. I need to find the silk pack. So I'll have to figure out where I can get that. And even though they seem a little spendy when you buy them, they are so much less expensive than if you bought all the skeins of silk. So much more economical. If you know where I can get a silk pack for this, let me know, because I'm interested. All right, here's a biggie. This one I I've also had this one and had it in my mind for a long time. MMEW 1847 by the Wyndham Collection. This one, I want to say, oh, this one's big. Oh, please, let me see if I can find out. Oh, 297 by 361. So it's large, but it's not like, there's not a 4 at the beginning of the dimension. That's when you know it's like, oh man, that's going to take forever. Okay, so this, look at this. Quaker Alphabet by La Di Da. True confession. I'm thinking that my cabinets in my kitchen might be this color. Kind of and there's another color that I used in Anne Perry called Lagoon by Gentle Arts. That's a similar match. I might just use that to stitch this as well. And I think you can use a gel stain that gives some transparency and movement to the paint, and then maybe antique it. I'm not sure. It will all come down to cost, honestly. Carolyn Scott, 1821. This is Northumberland House. Like I said, the pinks and the reds. This time of year, I yearn for some color. And this one is so pretty, just very delicate. The Beatrix Potter Quaker Sampler by Stitchy Box. This is available. I can't remember who released it originally, but Stitchy Box bought the rights, or bought the, I don't know. They produce it anyway now. That's gorgeous. Kind of in a Quaker mode also. And this one is Orenco Originals. It's like a Hade. Look at how pretty that blue is. They're not that big. This is really not that big of a pattern. It's definitely a William Morris inspired pattern. So I think it's curious that it's not that big. It's 10 by 14 if you stitch it on 14 count. So it would be considerably smaller. And I wonder how that will work with threads. I might have to go with the 36 count on that one. We'll see. This one I bought at the Attic the last time I was there at the Autumn Abundance Retreat in 2023. It's Samplers and Primitives. Their patterns are gorgeous. Gorgeousness. Isn't that? Oh, you could just stitch this and put it on the top of a box, like a round paper mache box. But I like this as well. You can make it more of a band sampler too. Put this below it. So many options. All right. I have some Victorian sampler patterns. And this one is so charming. Babe's Honey Farm Sampler. Babe's Honey Farm Sampler. How adorable is that? It says, life is the flower for which love is the honey. Oh. Oh, makes me want spring. GGR. I have several GGR. This one actually didn't. I have several that have the threads in them. This one doesn't, but oh, that flower. This is Jane Southward, 1836, La Maison Rouge. Look at that. Right there. And that house. Oh, gosh. Also, Brenda Keyes, the sampler company. I love the construct of her designs. She's a little more primitive. I probably would switch some colors out. Although this one, maybe not so much. This one is the Contented Mind Sampler. And even though this is probably a sizable, this is 359 by 358, if I could talk. Look at how much non-stitching area there is. I think that would go faster than you think. It's not like it's a 359 squared pattern by Paulette. That would have the biggest house you've ever seen with all of the flowers and landscape around it. Which I would stitch anyway because I'm a huge Paulette fan. The next one by the sampler company is Providence Sampler. These two girls down here under this umbrella. I love it. Midsummer Night Designs, Peaceful Paradise. I've seen lots of people stitch this one. I don't think this one is being produced any longer. This one is Teresa Sampler, Heaven and Earth. Teresa Kogut, CW Samplers, Heaven and Earth. I have seen, I guess I haven't seen that many people finish this, but look at the colors in that. And this could be a mania start because it's just so rich and beautiful. When Lori and I were at the Dine to Stitch retreat, I want to say it was probably 2019 with Barb and Alma, and then also Erica Michaels Designs was there. We were at Dine to Stitch and we were pawing through everything. Oh, this was on the wall. I showed this on Instagram and Jen Hicks goes, "What is that pattern?" And so she called, there was a run on it. Lots of people bought this. Quaker Seasons. It's just gorgeous. Quaker Seasons of Friendship. Lots of people stitched it in different colors. Jane Hopkins, 1875 by Hands Across the Sea. That'll be my screenshot. And Jane Fettis. I've always loved this one by Hands Across the Sea. Samplers Not Forgotten. Here's a small, like hardly any of these are smalls, y'all. And I do have some that are Christmas toward the end. But this one is by Samplers Not Forgotten, 100 Hearts. How pretty is that? Kim Nugent does a gorgeous job. Also, another Samplers Not Forgotten, Faith, 1831. It kind of reminds me of Bridget Powers with the kind of the curtain look on the front, on the top. And one more. This is a Black Cat, 1861. Definitely I have a style, don't you think? Maybe more than anything, a color sense. Shakespeare's Peddler, Anne Grant, 1829. And Sarah Elizabeth Brooke, 1842, by Tanya at the Scarlet House. I like this so much, I bought it twice. I'm going to give it away on my next, I'm going to do a giveaway next time that'll involve this. This is the first thing I looked at when I pulled the buckets of patterns out. And I have been thinking about this one for quite some time. And a Forest Grew. Contented Needleworker Kim, she had this in her room. And I was like, oh, I think she stitched the whole thing. It's so beautiful. It was really popular about 5 or 6 years ago. A lot of people were stitching it. And another Rosewood Manor is Owlsmore Cottage. Now, when this came out, I bought it immediately. And I do love the colors, but they're owls. So I thought of changing this to oranges and more autumnal colors, which would be fine. I'd probably have to change a couple of flowers like a daffodil. Oh, there's not a daffodil on here. Anyway, this could be definitely more of a Halloween looking piece. But I like these colors, so I'm undecided. This is Exemplar Dames Design Forgiveness. I think I would change Forgiveness to something else. Hannah Smith, 1838, Needlework Press, gorgeousness. I've seen several people stitching this lately. I think they might have shown this, the Attic Needlework, on their latest video. Maybe they showed that one too. Long Dog Samplers Renaissance. I bought this off the secondary market. I think it was like a limited edition. Look at the unicorns. I love the unicorns. And I'm a sucker for that Scottish, I don't even know what you call it, the loopy alphabet. Gorgeous. My sister and I are going to start this year. This is Stonehouse on the Brandywine by Heart's Ease Exemplar Works. Yep, a big house. I have a lot of her patterns. Teresa Bear. You also can get these at Acorns and Threads. This says, oh, what stories it could tell, the old house of mine, a long-standing sentinel on the Brandywine. Built strong of granite and of wood, on verdant acres my stone house stood, with window sills so deep and wide, and walls made thick on every side. while over the hill not far away the Brandywine River did flow and play. Afar to behold the strength of the two, the house and the river, and the stories they knew. Such a beautiful sentiment, and gosh, I just love it. I can't wait to stitch it. I gotta kit it up. In fact, I gotta put that over so I can buy threads for it. This one might be my very favorite of hers, and I've seen people stitch this. This is huge. This is 441 by 535, and it's chock full of specialty stitches. It's the Virginia sampler, I think. Virginia, a Cumberland County inspiration. Well, I don't live in Virginia, but a lot of these plants that are on here are where I live, so I would not put Virginia there. I'd put something else. Very interesting. The border is intricate, but not repetitive. Similar around, but it looks different. Oh, some of it's the same. Some of it's not, though. This one I've been thinking about for 6 months. I'm a glutton, I think, when it comes to this. Rocky Mountain Christmas by Barney Bell. I need to learn how to park my threads. And then I'm going to start this and stitch on it. I need to watch Blitz Stitch do his parking method. And then maybe order the little discs that you can wrap your threads on that Brenda from Handwork Maniac, I think her daughter-in-law sells them. So this one, I want to start this year. Also, Christmas Quaker Bell Pull, Sticketing von Weidenberg. Isn't that gorgeous? I think I'm in a Quaker mood. And Carolina House Designs, Happy Christmas. This one I bought off of Etsy a long time ago, Christmas Botanicals. I might make the colors a little bit bolder. I have no idea what channel this, or what Etsy store I bought this from. It's in another language. I don't know if it's Russian or what have you. Let me peek and see, because I'm sure people will ask about this one. Let's see. Nope. Nothing there. Nope. I do not know who made this one. It's not obvious. I'm so sorry about that. You could go into Etsy and just search Christmas Botanicals if you're interested. Plum Street, Promised Lamb. See, the gentle lamb appears, promised from eternal years. It's Christmas, but it's also could be an Easter start. And it's really not that big. It's adorable. Threadwork Primitives, Christmas Tide. Bright be thy Christmas tide. Blue Ribbon Designs, Poinsettias and Pines, the smell of pine, the crackling fire, all the snow one could desire. Hot cocoa with marshmallows, cookies in the kitchen, treasure the gifts that winter has given. That's beautiful. She has an Etsy store where she sells her patterns too. The last one out of this stash parade is Christmas Tea by Plum Street Samplers. Come to my table and share with me warm gingerbread cookies and cranberry tea. All right. So what do we have going on? I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month to watch my niece play volleyball at a big tournament down there. I don't know if I'm going anywhere in February or March. In April, I'm going to the Acorns and Threads Beach Retreat in Cannon Beach. And in May, I'm going to the Farm Girl Gatherings Retreat with Paulette in Wisconsin. And then there's a Brenda Gervais retreat in June that I was going to go to. If you haven't seen, the signups are available through Farm Girl Dry Goods. Then I realized it's the same day as my niece's graduation, so I'm not going to be able to go to that. And I think I have one retreat in the fall that I haven't signed up for, but will sign up for when it opens up. And that's what I have planned for this year. Most of my year is going to be spent, I think, once we get to a point where the house is sheetrocked, the electrical, the heating system, and the sheetrock is done, we will be on to, working on our kitchen, and I'll be doing tiling in the kitchens and the bathrooms. I'll probably be doing trim, and most likely I will be busy most weekends doing that. So my stitching will ebb for a while. Well, I hope you have a great January, and I probably won't see you until February because of my schedule. I hope you enjoyed some things in that stash review, and I hope that you enjoy all your stitching that you have going on. I will catch you next time. Take care.